Jung believed that beneath the alchemist's search for gold lay an even stranger and more ancient intuition. They were not only trying to transform matter, they believed something inside matter itself was waiting to be freed. A spirit lay sleeping in the depths of the world, hidden beneath stone and metal and earth, imprisoned in darkness, waiting for someone to awaken it. Tonight, he wants to show you why that extraordinary idea matters, and why the imprisoned spirit was never only in matter. It was in you. The old masters spoke in astonishing language. They said a divine spark had fallen into the darkness of the material world. They imagined it buried in stone, trapped inside the black earth, hidden in the metals beneath the mountain. Their furnaces and vessels were not merely workshops. They became places of rescue. Every fire they lit, every transformation they watched, was believed to help free the sleeping spirit from its prison. To the modern ear, that sounds like fantasy. Yet Jung came to understand that these men were describing something profoundly real, only they had mistaken where it was happening. Once again, they had projected an inner reality outward. The imprisoned spirit they believed was hidden inside matter was, in truth, hidden inside themselves. The sleeping divinity was the neglected center of their own souls. Notice how naturally the human mind makes this mistake. Whenever something precious disappears from conscious life, we instinctively imagine it has gone somewhere else. We search for it in distant lands, in hidden caves, in ancient temples, in mysterious books, in secret societies, in forgotten civilizations. We assume what is most valuable must be somewhere far away because we cannot imagine that we ourselves have become separated from it. We look outward because we do not yet know how to look inward. This is why the old stories always place the sacred in hidden places. The cave beneath the mountain, the temple beneath the sea, the city buried beneath the desert, the lost kingdom beyond the horizon. These places are geographical only on the surface. Their true location is psychological. They point toward the hidden regions of the soul where the neglected center waits beneath years of forgetting. The imprisonment itself deserves careful attention because it tells you something uncomfortable about your own life. The spirit is not imprisoned by chains placed upon it from outside. It is imprisoned by neglect, by being forgotten, by being pushed farther and farther beneath the demands of ordinary life until it no longer speaks loudly enough to be heard. Think about how this happens. A child naturally lives close to imagination, instinct, symbol, and mystery. None of these feel strange to him. They are simply part of the world. Then the years pass. Practical concerns arrive. School, career, responsibility, efficiency, success. None of these are wrong. Jung never believed they were wrong. They are necessary. But if they become everything, something else quietly disappears beneath them. The deeper life does not die. It simply falls asleep, and what falls asleep does not stop existing. It waits. This waiting can last decades. A person may become admired, accomplished, respected, productive, and still carry within himself something that has never truly awakened. Outwardly, he appears successful. Inwardly, he feels strangely absent from his own life, unable to explain why every achievement leaves behind the same quiet dissatisfaction. Jung recognized this feeling everywhere. People believed they wanted more money, more recognition, more knowledge, more success, more admiration, yet after receiving each one, the emptiness quietly returned. Not because these things were worthless, but because none of them could wake what had fallen asleep. This is the tragedy hidden beneath so much modern striving. People keep changing their circumstances while leaving the deepest part of themselves untouched. Then they wonder why nothing finally satisfies. The sleeping center remains asleep. The prison remains closed. The search simply moves to another object. If this quiet dissatisfaction feels familiar, stay with him and subscribe, because the next step is the one almost nobody sees. Here is where Jung made the decisive turn. The alchemists believed they were liberating the hidden spirit by changing matter. Jung realized the direction had always been reversed. As the person changes, the world changes with him. not because the external world physically transforms, because the relationship between the soul and the world transforms. A tree becomes different, not because the tree changed, because the one seeing it changed. A conversation becomes different, not because the words changed, because the listener changed. The world begins reflecting a different soul. This is what the old image of liberation was pointing toward all along. Every genuine transformation inside the person frees something that had been trapped beneath fear, beneath shame, beneath habit, beneath unconsciousness. The imprisoned spirit is released not from stone, but from forgetfulness. Notice something remarkable. Whenever people describe moments that permanently changed them, they almost never speak first about outer events. They say, "I finally saw. I suddenly understood. It was as though something woke up. I became myself." Those are not descriptions of acquiring something new. They are descriptions of recovering something ancient, something that had always been there, something asleep. Jung came to believe that this awakening cannot be manufactured, it cannot be forced by discipline alone, it cannot be bought, it cannot be inherited. It happens when a person becomes willing to enter the depths honestly enough for what has been sleeping to begin waking on its own. That awakening is often gentle, almost disappointingly gentle. People expect thunder. Instead, they notice that ordinary life begins to feel quietly alive again. The sunrise becomes beautiful. A conversation carries unexpected depth. Music suddenly reaches somewhere it never reached before. Old symbols begin speaking. Dreams become vivid. The world itself seems to recover color. Nothing outside has changed. Yet everything feels different. This is why the awakened person often struggles to explain what happened. There are no dramatic facts to report. No miracle anyone else could verify. Only the undeniable experience that life itself has become more alive. That is what the imprisoned spirit looks like when it begins to wake. Jung wanted to protect you from another misunderstanding here. Some people hear this and imagine that awakening means escaping ordinary life forever. They dream of permanent ecstasy, permanent enlightenment, permanent transcendence. He never believed such fantasies. The awakened spirit does not remove you from ordinary existence. It returns you to it. Only now you are present. The dishes still need washing. The bills still arrive. Work still demands attention. People still disappoint you. You still become tired. Nothing magical happens to life. Something magical happens to the one living it. The ordinary becomes alive because the one meeting it has become alive. That is a quieter miracle than most people hope for, but it is also the only one that lasts. There is another reason the spirit appears imprisoned, and it is worth understanding. Every part of yourself that you refuse to know imprisons part of your own life. Every avoided grief, every denied fear, every denied rear, every rejected longing, every hidden gift, each becomes another locked chamber. As these chambers accumulate, the living center becomes harder and harder to reach, not because it has moved, because too many unopened doors stand between you and it. The work of inner life is not creating the spirit, it is opening the doors one by one, slowly, patiently, until the center can breathe again. That is why the process cannot be rushed. A prison built over 30 years rarely disappears in 30 days. Each honest encounter opens another gate. Each accepted truth removes another wall. Each integrated fragment frees another portion of the life that had been sleeping beneath it. Eventually, the person begins noticing something unexpected. He is no longer searching quite so desperately, not because he has found every answer, because the deepest question has begun answering him from within. The endless outward chase loses its urgency. The center quietly begins carrying him. That is the liberation the old seekers were trying to describe. Not escape from the world, not escape from suffering, not escape from being human, but freedom from living divided against yourself. So when you hear the ancient stories speaking about this spirit imprisoned in matter, Hear them with new ears. The prison is real, the spirit is real, the liberation is real, only the location was misunderstood. The deepest rescue does not happen beneath the mountain. It happens beneath your own awareness. The sleeping one has been waiting there longer than you know, not asking to become something else, only asking to be remembered. In the comments, mark that remembrance. Write 3 words, "Wake what sleeps," and come with him to the next one, because once the sleeping center begins to awaken, another mystery appears almost immediately. Strange figures begin arriving in dreams, visions, and imagination, figures that seem wiser than the conscious mind itself. Who these inner guides really are is where we go next.